Introducing the dynamic crew behind our electrifying podcast panel. Get ready to meet the voices. First up, we got Kenda, the voice Qualman. Next, producer Tone Deaf Pod. And say hello to Jessica the Minister. Here comes Savannah, she's such a lady. Check out comedian Tika G. Ruthia, the model, is in the house. Don't forget Kenyada. Judge is here. Sir Quentin, Mr. Shut Up and Hustle. And last but definitely not least, Nichole. Introducing the dynamic crew behind our electrifying podcast panel.
In the city of Milwaukee, I'm a property manager.
What else you do?
I hate y'all cousins. I just want y'all to know that. They get on my damn nerves every day.
We hate them too.
I also am turning back with our podcast in mid-July. I also am working on my own podcast called The Real Life of a Property Manager. So I'll be telling my stories about y'all cousins and what the stupidest shit that they be doing. So y'all gotta listen in to that. But before we really get started, let me first thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. We're excited. This is our second time doing this, and we hope that this group continues to grow. So tell your friend, and tell your friend, and tell your friend, and tell your friend. So the next time we do it, all of this is cool, all right? Y'all promise? All right. I didn't hear nothing. Okay, thank you. We also want to let you know that you can find us on Instagram at the Panel Milwaukee on Instagram and Facebook, and also on the TDR network. That stands for Tone Deaf Radio. That's Tone back there. Give it up for Tone. So just a couple of house rules. We are going to ask that you respect the mic. That's for the audience, that's for the panel members as well. One person talking at a time, and there will be opportunity for the crowd to participate as well. So we will ask you guys some questions. So we look forward to that. Again, my name is Nichole, one of the Panel MKE Podcast members. Also in the audience, we have Tika G, the comedian. Then we have Jess, the minister. Her podcast is She Has a Voice. She's the one who checked y'all in. Her podcast is called She Has a Voice. And then on this Saturday, June 15th, she will be doing a book signing. Her book is set to release. And then she also operates a nonprofit called Women's United in Sisterhood. One of our other podcast members, Clinton, unfortunately could not be here, but his podcast is Best of the Best Production, and he runs Shut Up and Hustle. All of us are housed under the Tone Deaf Radio Network, better known as TDR. So if you hear refer to TDR, that's what we're talking about. So tonight's topic is we're going to be talking about regret. So before we get into it, I'm going to just give a definition of what regret is. So regret is something you wish you would have never done or wish that would have never happened. And then also, what's the difference between regret and resentment? Resentment describes a negative emotional reaction to being mistreated. So tonight we're going to talk about those topics. So let's get started. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves. Our panel members, make sure you guys let us know what your podcast is, your name, where people can find you, where they can listen to you at, and the different causes, because we have a lot of great causes sitting up here. So I'll start with.
Okay. Hi, so I'm Kenyada Williams. I am a professional counselor, and I will be starting my my mental health and substance abuse treatment center. That's in a couple of weeks.
Hey.
And my name is
Kenda, also known as The Voice. I have a podcast called Minding My Own. Y'all can go ahead and find me on YouTube at Minding My Own Podcast with Kenda. I'm also on IG as Minding My Own Podcast. So y'all just look funny. Outside of podcasting, I also am a talent acquisition manager, so I staff different clinicians in healthcare environments. So yeah, that's it.
Hey y'all, hey. My name is Ruthia. By day, I am a forklift driver and certifier, so I am out in Germantown certifying all of y'all baby daddies and y'all cousins. And outside of that, I am a runaway, plus size, curvy, whatever it is you want to say. I am that. I am Ruthia, the model, your favorite model's favorite model. Co-founder of Pretty Plus Size and Powerful. My business partner is here in the audience. We do body positivity, so we meet you right where you're at. You can have big arms, big back, whatever it is. Sis, we're gonna love on you right then and there, and we're gonna teach you to love on yourself as well. I am also an advocate for sexual awareness abuse. I am a podcaster. With Pretty Plus Size and Powerful, we had a podcast, at least 100 episodes. So make sure you go back and listen to all of those episodes. We had some really great topics, as well as, like Nichole said, do not resuscitate. Well, we are learning to cut the plug on people who do not deserve our energy. They're not feeding this stuff, they does not deserve it. So yeah, and hopefully this year, next year, I will be producing a journal workbook focused on your healing traumatic experiences with sexual trauma as well.
You will.
I know you have so many accolades. She's my favorite plus model. I'll tell you that.
Not too much. Don't do too much.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting started. All right, my name's Judge Rodgers. I got a clothing brand, Facts by Fiction. It's basically statements of a collective conscience. I live my life off of poetry and affirmation is just one of my love languages. So I talk, I receive, I observe, I shut the fuck up, I meditate on it, and I exhort it, twist it up, and I make it my own, throw it on the t-shirt, throw it in the streets. And I've been doing pretty good, so I'm just happy to be here. Gratitude.
Yay.
Hello you guys, I am Savannah Burks. I have a 501c3 non-profit organization called Lupus Has No Face. I am also a warrior, so I have lupus as well. I do have my own podcast as well called Lupus Has No Face Podcast. You can catch me on YouTube and Lupus Has No Face on all of the platforms. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for 16, 17 years. Amen. So yeah, I'm a proud member of Family Code. So I appreciate you guys for coming. Yay! One important thing. We are wearing purple because we are supporting the awareness month, which was last month, so that's why we have purple today.
Yes. And I look good in purple, so.
Y'all all look good in purple.
You do too.
All right, so let's get started with the first question. So to my panel, you guys can figure out which direction you want to go. Matter of fact, I'm just going to start with you. All right, so the question is, how do you define regret and what role has it played in your own life?
I took real deep thought. I took a real deep step back and thought about regrets. And I think that those are like the choices that I didn't make, most likely, because we all got chances. And the chances that we don't take is the ones that could, really count us out the game. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's why I'm a shooter. I'm gonna shoot my shot in everything. I'm gonna shoot my shot in life. I'm gonna shoot my shot with women. I'm gonna shoot my shot with everything. I'm gonna shoot a shot with myself.
Amen.
Because if I don't ball, I'm gonna fall. That's on God.
Amen.
So you're saying that regret could also be something that you don't do?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's true.
Not just something that happens to you, but something that you may not have done.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sound with my life. I'm a pretty sound guy. I'm grounded. I meditate, you know. I hang around y'all, you know. We're a smart counsel, you know. You gotta have trust in your counsel. You gotta trust yourself. So, I just, yeah. I think I said no.
Can you restate the question?
Absolutely. How do you define regret, and what role has it played in your own life?
To me, regret is a feeling. So whenever I do something or something happens to me, it's a feeling. So something about my body is off, something about my chakras are off, I don't feel comfortable. So to me, that's like a trigger. Like, okay, something is there, so I need to understand it and unpack it. Also, it has played many different roles in my life, just like God. Regret shows up in many different forms, many different times. And sometimes it's like, I regret I did that, but I don't apologize for that shit because I meant it. And sometimes it's just like, oops. You know, so regret shows up very differently for me.
I would say regret is a feeling. It is definitely a feeling that you have when you proceeded to do something, or like Judge said, not do something, and now you feel away. Like you start to feel like you're missing out on something, or you start to feel like you ruined a situation because you weren't mindful, or you ignored yourself when you told yourself to do something a certain way. It's like a self-doubt as well, I think regret is associated with. And so that's something that you just learn from, and I think everybody has to learn from it.
Amen.
That's right.
For me, just like the rest of the panel said, for me it's an emotional feeling. It plays on my mental over and over and over again. No matter where I'm at or what room I'm in or what I'm doing, I'm always thinking about what I didn't do. So it throws off my morality. So and it bothers me until I address it and forgive myself. So that is regret for me.
Honestly, regret for me is, first of all, I don't have no regrets because I feel like anything I did or anywhere I've been, I feel like it wouldn't have shaped me into who I am today. So I don't have no regrets. But I can also say that, like what Judge said, that it also go back to like the things that we didn't do. Like I wish if I can go back the hands of time to my team, I would have never skipped school. I never would have dropped. It's just a lot of things I wouldn't have did either. So I mean, I can say that, man, I wish I wouldn't have did that. But at the end of the day, if I wouldn't have, would I know what I know now? Mm-hmm. So honestly, I don't have any regrets. I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, in the Bible, God said He gave back the years that the locust ate. So I'm okay with that. So that's regret for me. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Action cry.
No, I was just saying I love that. I love how she said that. That is absolutely right. I've had to come to make an understanding of that as well. Like, okay, if I didn't go through this, then I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now. Yeah. So I'm also thankful for those mistakes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to not regret them initially, but then you have to come back and it's a mental thing where you have to remind yourself, like, okay, you did that, now how you gonna move differently next time? So, definitely growth.
Can I have some? I definitely agree with that. There's this quote or proverb or, you know, something that people say like, if you don't go through it, you're not going to get to it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we gotta go through that shit. We gotta go through the turmoil and we gotta apply pressure.
You got to.
Yeah, you gotta apply pressure because that's what's gonna make diamonds.
You got to. You know something else to piggyback on both of y'all? I always say, like, I feel sorry for a person that never been through nothing.
Yes.
I feel very sorry because what happens when life hits you and you've never been through nothing? Then what? Like, you got people committing suicide, you get on subsidy, like all that stuff because you never been through nothing. So now that life hits you, now you're like, oh my, you know, like now you don't know what to do. So now you're going to drugs and alcohol. because you don't know how to face life. But if you've been through it, like, you know, now you'll overcome it because you know how to overcome it because you overcame it before. So, yeah, so it's like, I feel like you need to go through stuff. You have to.
I was reading Will Smith's book, Will, wonderful book. But he was just talking about failing, how everyone is scared of success, but they don't want to fail. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, how you gonna walk out of nowhere? Yeah, I'm gonna say this shit. You know, I got a quote that's on my hoodies, and it's sold in stores too. It says, "Fail fast, fail forward, fail often. Learn from your mistakes, and the last L you make will be successful."
Yeah.
That's it.
You ain't no boss until you took a loss.
I like that. I appreciate that. Yes,
Somebody's chicken going off.
I would like to piggyback off what she said. Fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't go through a lot until I got of age, and dealing with that was very stressful for me because I had a stress-free life, walking through life with no mistakes, no worries, no nothing. So I do agree with that. At my age of today, when I get things thrown at me, it's kind of like I'm just about it, like, why? I work so hard to get to this, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how to deal with it. So I totally agree with you with that.
I think for me, I have lived with a lot of regrets, but at this point in my life, I'm living without regrets. I do whatever the hell I want, when I want to do it, however I want to do it, because you only got one life. You got to live it, you know, because when I die, or whatever the situation is going to be from laying on my deathbed, I want to sit and go in my mind and think about all the crazy ass shit that I did. And just remember that, you know, instead of saying, damn, I wish I would have did this, I should have did this. I don't want to live like that, so I definitely encourage you all to just live your best life. But I also want to go ahead and pose this question to anyone in the audience. How do you, what do you describe regret as, and what role has it played in your life? Anybody?
In the back.
How y'all doing? My name's Ryan. I'm agree with you. I don't regret nothing I did because it made me the person I am. It sharpened me up, made me learn different things because I work for community advocate. I teach healthy relationships, better intervention. And it's also taught myself how to be a better person, how to talk to people, how to change my attitude. So I don't have no regrets.
Hi, my name is Shalonda. I am a member of the Best of the Best team, so even though you couldn't be here, I am here representing. I also have my own podcast, Love, Strength to Love. You can find me on YouTube, as well as Facebook. Just go pull up Love, Strength to Love on YouTube and you'll find me. For all of y'all, I really agree with all of y'all because in every way, it is a feeling, but it's also something that says everything happens for a reason. So with that being said, it allows you to actually grow. And I have no regrets as well because like Judge said, it actually helps me grow into the woman I became as well as you. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but all of you guys, the feelings that I have at moments and times that actually says, I regret that. A lot of them are the things that I did not go through or actually take a step out on.
Hi, my name is Martin. I have to also agree with all of you all. As you were speaking, I can kind of relate something that every one of you said to my own life. I have no regrets of the choices that I made. But my regrets would be self-sabotage, thinking that I can't do anything when I know that I'm destined for greatness. And I was also sheltered. My mom, like she was overbearing. So when I hit the world, I hit it hard. I hit it open and willing to learn things. But still the unknown and not being exposed to trauma, it prevented me from moving into my greatness sooner than I probably did step into it. So that's regret for me.
Thank you for sharing.
Anybody else?
Hey everybody, I'm Mo Sketty. I'm also on the TDR network. Hey Mo, my podcast.
That's family right there.
Hey fam. My podcast Moment with Mo Sketty, we talk about mental health and spiritual wellness. Okay, so regret. I'd like to say I'm a person who, doesn't have any regrets, but I've had to grow myself into that and talk myself into that over and over again, because for me, regret shows up as embarrassment sometimes, because I done did something that I'm like, oh, I didn't have to do that. I could have, now I'm looking ugly, but it's like, okay, well, it happened, so what? Am I dead? I ain't dead. So I gotta just walk forward in that, and so I gotta talk myself into not regretting whatever that was and flip it into a learning opportunity. So that's how we end up there. And then the other one is just about, like other people have said, lost time. Like, where could I have been had I made a couple of different turns? But again, I talk myself into, I wasn't ready for that turn. I was too stupid to make the right decision, obviously, because I didn't. And so I grow myself out of regrets. They happen, but you gotta turn them over.
So I agree with what everybody said, and I think the reason, so I don't have any regrets either, but I have to grow into that. And I think the reason I don't have any regrets is because I take accountability and ownership of all of the decisions that I've made. They have not always been the best decisions, right? Some of them landed me flat on my ass, some of them landed me flat on my face.
And into businesses.
Into businesses, out of relationships, broken up families. But I take accountability and ownership, and I also forgive myself, and I know that God's grace is going to cover me.
We know that there's consequences, but we have to hold on to that accountability. All right, next question for the panel. Can you share a specific instance where you experienced regret, and how did you deal with it?
I'll go first. So I like to bring people together, and I would say there have been instances where I've trusted the wrong people. I've overlooked red flags because I just wanted that person to be great. So I thought, let me just give people a chance, and I would give them a chance, and I would see a red flag, and then I'd be like, okay, let's work through it. But you can't do that with everybody. Everybody, you can't work through it. And so my regret example would be that, just bringing the wrong people around, or sharing different information, or being vulnerable with people that didn't deserve that from me. Putting people on a pedestal before they prove themselves that that's where they belong. Yeah, that's really my thing.
Yeah.
So how many have you guys been in a relationship knowing you guys should have left within a year?
Oh, you could appreciate it.
6 months, 3 months, 15 minutes.
Seems like you triggered the whole crowd.
I'm gonna be brief, but sometimes when you are crossing over from a best friend and making that person your person, sometimes it's just where that person should be is just your best friend. That person should not be your significant other. I ignored the red flags as well because I wanted him to be so great, because he was such a great best friend, but he wasn't a great spouse. And because the sorries and the cries and the change of actions just for a little bit to keep me turned into resenting him and regretting myself because I knew I should have left. would cause it to be done on a bad end, but I'm happy and I'm okay with that because the place that I'm at today, I wouldn't have been able to move how I'm moving if I was with him because he wouldn't have been able to take my life that he was trying to have.
I would say my biggest regret is not showing up as myself every single day up until just now. I waited way too long to be this version of myself, and this version of myself is dope as fuck. So that would be my biggest regret, holding on to things that don't belong to me, holding on to shit that's heavy because I'm supposed to be this bad lady, I'm supposed to be strong, I'm supposed to be all these things that a black woman is supposed to be, but nobody told me that. So my biggest regret is being like, oh, well, that's just who I am, you gotta accept it. We had a conversation the other day and I was told that I was hard to deal with. And it took me some time to accept that, and I've done the healing work, so I'm so regretful that it took me this long to accept it, but I'm also not apologetic for how I showed up because I was true to who I was in that moment. But I regret doing all the things that I did because I didn't know what love was. I didn't know how to show it. I didn't know how to receive it. And so I was pushing people away who was trying to love on me. So I regret not allowing the love and the compassion to penetrate who I really was.
Amen.
Look, I'll keep it real. I regret, like, all right, first off, I'm single as a Pringle, so.
It'd be a lot of Pringles.
Slide the pins. Slide the pins in the table, they open. That's right.
Fiction 15, PHIXION 15. No, I'm just Okay, I regret sometimes, I'm an open book, and I'm very transparent about my shit, about my life, about my actions, about my mistakes. And sometimes, like Kenda said, like you're giving all this information, and it seems like sometimes women, or not women, your significant other, can use what you told them against you, and you're like, God damn it, I should have never told you that, because now you're saying, oh, because you did this, what makes you think you're gonna do that? You little man. What? Like, girl, you know what? That was the one time, and you're gonna sit here and make a mountain out of a fucking molehill. I really regret it. But shout outs to healing, shout outs to doing the work. I'm doing shadow work. I write in my journal, all this shit. I touch streets, I'm grounded. But it just really sucks when you're telling somebody something and you're really showing your true self, like you're showing like your genuine self, your blind self, like this is who I am, this is my dead wood, and they shit on that. And I'm not hurt. People always say, who hurt you? These are life experiences, and you gotta be careful with who you share it to, because you can be giving somebody a piece of yourself, and just like you said, give them your life, and they take that shit, gobble it all up, and then regurgitate it on you, and that's vomit. They vomit all over you. It fucking sucks.
Absolutely.
God bless you.
I'm blessed.
No, I think for me, it's when you let people put fear, like when you let people fear affect you. So like, and I'm talking about family, friends, people that think they know you because they've been around you all your life, so they think that this is best for you, but the whole time, like, they don't even know what's best for themselves. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to travel, I want to do this, and you got people, I don't know. So it's like, I'm learning to normalize, stop telling people everything about me, like everything I want to do, because people will place their fears on you, but because they didn't do it, they gonna try to convince you not to do it. So I'm learning to back off, like family and close friends, like just like, you know what I'm saying? Like just stop telling them my big goals and my big dreams, because when people don't dream big, they gonna look at you crazy for dreaming big. So I'm learning learning to back off of that.
That's right.
I think that's 100% fact. As you were talking, it made me think about, this was right after 9/11. Me and my friend wanted to go to New York for our birthdays, and we wanted to stay in Harlem. And when I said that, everybody's like, you can't stay in Harlem? It's ghetto, it's this. I'm like, y'all need to quit watching TV and stop taking your fear. Exactly, so was Burline, you heard, so was Locust, all of that.
I don't know if ghetto no more gentrified anyway.
Wasn't Burline.
That's them taking their fears and putting it on us. And I went anyway, we stayed in Harlem, we had the best time we ever had. So you cannot allow people's fear to hinder you or to force you to have regrets because of, you know, what they're afraid of. So
No, you can't. My daughter, she got accepted into Alabama State University down in Georgia. So my grandmother called me. She was like, "Nah, tell her she should stay next to her family. Blah blah blah. You can't trust these people out here." She said all this stuff, and I'm just listening. I'm like,
sometimes you can't trust family.
Listen.
That's a whole nother show.
Let me tell you what happened. So she's talking about you can't trust these people right here. And I sat back and I listened to her. I knew what I was going to say to her. I said, you can't trust family either. Come on. And I tell you, she got so quiet. She got quiet. And I told her, you cannot keep calling people, telling people what they can't do, what they shouldn't do. Hell, if they want to go to Africa and study, I don't give a damn. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But because you got scared and decided to stay next to your family because you didn't want to, you know, it's just like, you can't do that with everybody. And this is why people grow old and bitter, because you don't live your life. You live your life, you let other people tell you, family is all we got. Listen, that's the biggest damn lie ever. Family is not all you got. Family sometimes will be just as worse as the damn enemy. That's just what I think.
That's so tough. Thank you for sharing that. Savannah?
Anybody else have anything?
I answered already.
Everybody answered.
I must wanted to hear some more from you, girl.
Let's go to the crowd.
Try to keep it cute.
That's what I'm telling you. Skip the way to report.
All right, so here is the next question. All right, we're actually going to start with the crowd this time. So the question is, how do you differentiate between healthy regret that leads to growth and toxic regret that can hold us back?
Hold on, can you repeat that? What did you just say?
It says, how do you differentiate between healthy regret that leads to growth and toxic regret that can hold us back?
Oh,
For example, I got, I'm gonna say just like this, when I first started working for, when I volunteered to go to community, I wasn't working there. I moved back to Texas 3 years ago, make a long story short, I moved back because my mom passed away last year, August. And I see how everybody was moving. I see it was about a self thing. So I said, I got to feel like people was using me for my abilities. So I was like, maybe change the way I move. So I enrolled in community advocate. It supposed to be just a community service, but turned out I was in an internship the whole time. And my brother, he was basically hating on me, like, bro, why you keep going to classes? That shit ain't gonna change you. That shit gonna make you. So eventually started changing the way I think, and I'm pushing it on him. He's like, bro, don't be pushing that shit on me, bro. Nah, eventually now he rocking with me now. So like, that's what it goes to that answer you said. So my brother wasn't agreeing with me when I first went to community. Because he's like, man, you doing it for free. I'm not doing it to change my mindset, the way I think, the way I move.
Yes.
So when I did that and see the way I'm moving now, like, bro, now I see why you did that.
Amen.
Clap it up for that man. Clap it up for that man.
Why you not go out with me every time?
Dude,
Y'all sit next to each other.
I know, I was trying to go first. You just leave it to it.
And she a podcaster, bro.
Okay, for me, it's the cycles. The ones that keep landing me in the same space. That's how I know that they're toxic. So the ones that helps me grow, they're gonna grow with me, or they're teaching me something so that I can actually grow and actually break the cycles that I've actually been going through. The toxic ones, it just, like I said, the cycle keeps repeating itself. It tells me that it's time for me to let go and move on.
Amen. Go.
We're trying out to break the generational curses, breaking cycles that don't do us any good. Somebody up here, would you? Oh, you like, oh, you
Hey y'all, hey. First of all, I regret not pinning this wig down. Let's hold on. Hopes and dreams, baby. Hold on. Hopes and dreams. Alright? Okay, no, but for real. For real. No, for real. One of my regrets that helped me grow was that I was always regretting not taking a chance on myself. So like, with me doing comedy, I always stood in the background and was like, I really don't want to like be out in the front and like really put out what these people don't expect from me from the world, but I stopped caring about that. I was like, what they're gonna get is what they're gonna get. Like, comedy is the truth and that's what people love. So that's what I did. I put my best foot forward with comedy and that's where I am now. One of my toxic regrets, I regret staying in a 10-year relationship that did not benefit my growth. I was with this person a very long time, and it took me to be out of that relationship to understand that I'm better off by myself to be a better person. To not always hinder myself to try and build another person and help them grow and make them grow. I can't make anyone else grow. I have to grow for myself. So if you're willing to put some soil on this dirt, baby, I'm with it, but that's how I feel, y'all. So thank y'all so much for coming, y'all.
Yeah, okay.
All right, to the panel. The question again is, how do you differentiate between healthy regret that leads to growth and toxic regret that can hold us back?
I'm gonna do a part two. So back to my relationship. The healthy regret was me going back to school for a nurse practitioner. So that meant leaving him where he was. Toxic is that when you're growing and you're presenting every opportunity to this person to be your equal so y'all both can shine, and that person never attends to make it to that room, got something to say about making it to that room, don't want to grow, but it's a great talker. So once I learned that that was toxic and he wasn't going to grow with me, I had to start making my exit plan.
Okay. I would say it's simple. Is it helping me elevate and be a better person, or is it pulling me down and keeping me where I don't want to be? If it is making me, you know what I'm saying, pulling me out of my character, if I'm like, this ain't really who I am, then I know it's toxic. And sometimes it takes, you know what I'm saying, you constantly going through, like you said, the cycles to realize that this is toxic. And let's be honest, we all like a little toxicity in our life. It's fun for a little bit, but if I know that I'm doing something and I'm like, this ain't really who I am, and you, so like you said, you're in a relationship with somebody and it's just like, I'm not the type of chick that's gonna go through somebody's phone. If I feel the need to go through your shit, it's a wrap, sir. Like, I don't need that, and I feel like that's a toxic cycle, and I'm gonna regret the moment that I went in there because now I'm putting myself in a situation to be hurt, to be broken, to be whatever. I know within myself if it's something I do or don't want to do, but if I'm allowing you to pull me back down, I'm not dimming me for nobody else anymore. The old broken me would have done that. I'm too grown and I'm too much of a boss. Like, so, watch your ass up. I'm too much of a boss. Right. And the people that I communicate with, people that's on the stage, people that's in this audience, we're all bosses in our own right. So if you can't elevate with me, deuces, baby.
Let's go.
I love that. What you were just talking about, that's tonic. There's a difference between something being tonic for you, where it's providing good, fresh fruits, you know what I'm saying? And then there's toxicity, where something is breaking you down. That's the difference. Ha! I got it. So, and just to piggyback off of what my man said, thank you for standing up for the man. I see this is I see what's going on here. I'm loving the man. I'm loving the man. No digging. You know, but what I'm saying is, when you're investing in yourself, that's A lot of people don't like to see you succeed. They don't like to see you change. They don't like to see you progress. They say, no, you're supposed to be right here, and I need you to stay right here. Don't move, nigga. Stay where you at, keep your place, and stay in line. And when you get out of line, and you say, yo, man, I'm trying to do something different. Fuck that. You know, they get there. When I was 15, I started going to church by myself. And a lot of my friends didn't understand that. They called me square, they called me stupid for some reason. They call me gay. Like, why do you call me gay? Because I want to serve God. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, people just pull these things out of the air when they see you succeeding or changing. And just to piggyback off of what somebody else said, like, family, you can't choose your family, but you can definitely choose your friends.
Amen.
And that's your real family. Those are the people that really want to see you succeed. And they want to stand with you when you're falling.
Amen.
You gotta have people around your circle that you can tell good news to and they celebrate with you, and you tell them bad news and they mourn with you.
So now going back off what you said, and I don't know if it's right, because I always say, Lord, please forgive me. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I will say this right here. I have a lot of relatives, but I only have just a little family. So there's a difference for me. So anytime somebody, and like I said, what you said, anytime somebody, okay, so let's say we smoke weed back in the day, right? Drink, smoke, whatever, right? And then as soon as I want to do something different, you start feeling some type of way. That's a big thing for me, because like even now, you got people, like you said, people want you to stay like right here, stay right here. As long as you're right here, I'm comfortable with you being right here. But as soon as I start wanting to do something different, I become the black sheep.
Hey, I'm the leader of the black sheep, so
hey, I'm the leader of the black sheep. You know what? And then you start questioning yourself though, like you doing something wrong, but the whole time it's like, no, right? You gotta know that these people okay with you being like that because it was more to talk about when you was down there. Yeah. But now that you separate yourself and you're doing more with yourself, it ain't really too much to talk about no more. It's not fun no more. Mm-hmm. Because as long as you was down here doing all this stuff, yeah, you know, Judge doing this, you know, he doing this, and now you start doing better with yourself, it's quiet. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Judge about to read the book of Enoch.
I said I wasn't gonna say that.
You gotta get a mic first, though. Respect the mic. You gotta get a mic. Step away from the speaker, though. A little bit too close.
I think it's awesome.
See?
We stuck over here. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you said
See, too close.
I got a big mouth, so I'm glad.
Put it right here. At least we're recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a big mouth, but I'm glad you said that because we can be down doing whatever. But as soon as you decide to make a change in your life, that's when you find out who your real family is, and that's when you find out who your real friends is.
Amen.
I want my cousin, I ain't gonna call her name, but I want her to wave her hand. That is my double first cousin. And when I say that we ride no matter what. But what I love the fact is she good to tell me when I'm wrong and she good to tell me when I'm right. And sometimes we make decisions not to shine somebody out, but to make you a better person. So when you choose to make yourself a better person, it's okay. Because when you go to that next chapter in your life, the ones that fell off, when you decide to make a change, they was meant to fall off. They was not meant to go in the next chapter in your life. I'm living witness that I've lost so many people over the past 2.5 years, and I'm okay with that. And I have learned to accept it because the growth that I see in me now, I would not change it for my mama nor my children. But I say this to say this. I said that to say this. Keep going in the direction that you're going because obviously you're doing something good. Because when they stop talking about you, or y'all check up on yourself. Because I want everybody to talk about me because they let me know I'm doing something right. When you stop talking, then I need to check up on myself. That's all I got to say.
Back off that, because they started off with you don't mean they gonna finish with you.
No.
That's right.
That's it. That's what I was gonna say. Everybody can't go where you going.
They not, no.
No, that's just a fact. So thank you, Jess, the minister, where you took us to church. Amen.
I didn't go that.
Hallelujah.
I'm done with you, Kenda.
It's my turn. Respectfully. I would say, I know when it's healthy regret, when it's something that I'm still willing to put energy into to become a better version of myself. I can look at tomorrow and say, damn, that was fucked up. That was some fucked up shit. But tomorrow, I ain't doing that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, I'm gonna do the research, I'm gonna do everything better so that I can be better.
Amen.
The toxic form of regret is when I wanna choke your ass. But it really just comes down to, like, now I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Now I want to cut you from my space. Now I don't see you when I cut you out my space because it was never meant for you to continue forth with me. I noticed that when I cut people out of my life, I don't see them again. I don't. Never out in public, no matter where I go, I don't see them. I might see them on social media, but that is it. Those people never come back in, and I never need to check in or check their ass again. So, so I would say that's how I know the differences between the two, because one way is making me better, another way is aligning me for success on the path that I'm taking moving forward. So that's how that goes.
That's another angle.
Y'all talking today. Y'all pod. Y'all pod. I talk y'all with.
Shout out to Tom, TDR in the building.
I'm tired. I'm waiting on my chicken. I'll be good in a minute.
Did you order it?
Huh?
I'm hungry too.
I ordered a 10-piece. I'm just gonna share that.
Really good. All right, on to the next question. In what ways can regrets from the past shape our present decisions and future aspirations?
Let's go, Judge.
Prove that nigga wrong. That's my answer. Prove that nigga wrong.
Okay, Tom. I prove them wrong all the time.
You do, that's why.
There will always be naysayers.
Always.
You know. What was the question before I really
In what ways can regrets from the past shape our present decisions and future aspirations?
Someone told me that the reason why we continue to live life and make mistakes and we think about them, it's not to have that thought, it's to have that lesson. You know, walking is just catching your fall. Ooh, that was deep. That's that. Hey, I'm also part of this core fraternity, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this ain't what I was about. South Sao Paulo. Yeah. I think I said enough right there. There you go. Am I good?
Yeah, that was
all right. Come it up.
There's no wrong answer.
There is wrong answers. Are wrong answers.
Who going next? You going?
I can go.
Thank you.
One of my personal regrets that have shaped me in both a negative and a positive way is being sexually assaulted and holding on to that hurt and that, you know what I'm saying, I was holding it as if it was mine. I regret holding on to it for so long because it made me hard on the outside. It made me hard to deal with. It made me really, really angry. And I didn't understand why I had buried it for so long, but I was still holding on to it for so long and so tightly. So it shaped me to be this gumball. Like, if you know me, I'm a sweet love. Like, I'm gonna beat your ass, but I'm gonna cry and pray over you. So So it kind of shaped me in that way, but it has also shaped me to be this more vulnerable person, because once I allowed myself to let it go, it has shaped me to be like, you know what, that wasn't mine to begin with. It was something that happened, and it was a part of my story because God wants me to go through it, and I'm gonna let all of y'all know how to heal and work through it, because there's a young lady or even a young man that is looking at me and say, you know what, I see her in me. So sometimes just being able to let things go, and you can still talk about it, but being able to let it go makes you, it shapes you in a different type of way.
Amen.
I think I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Because definitely, I think all of us do this. Sometimes we take other people's stuff on, and then it becomes a regret for us. Like for me personally, I could say my ex-husband was a drug addict, and I hid it for a long time because I was ashamed. I ain't never did drugs a day in my life. What am I ashamed for? You know what I mean? And I hid it from so many people, from my family, my friends, my job. And meanwhile, I'm at home going through, turmoil and chaos. And I held that in for so long that later I regretted it, because I couldn't get the help and the support that I needed because I didn't tell anybody. How did they know? They didn't know I needed help and support. So we have to stop holding on to other people's stuff, which then creates regret in us.
Absolutely. That's true. Can you repeat the question, please? Absolutely.
Sorry, give me a sec.
I know your password now.
I'm glad you do, because it seems like I don't. In what ways can regrets from the past shape our present decisions and future aspirations?
I'm going to piggyback off of Ruthia. I'm going to say when I was diagnosed with lupus, my regret, because I resented the man above because I was so young and I didn't have a chance to live a normal life at that time. I wasn't receptive to the education and the knowledge that was given to me. So because I didn't accept it, I couldn't do that. And my support system was, I leaned on them. They helped me do what I need to do, taking my meds, cooking my food at, certain times, and making it a certain type of way. And how it molded me today is because I accepted what I have, and I'm in remission today, so yes. I accepted what I have, and I made a 501c3 lupus has no face nonprofit around it, because when I accepted what I have, there was nothing to speak for me, and there was nothing that was there to help me. So now I'm here to educate our warriors about what I went through and what they're going through today.
I'm actually going to go next. I want to say my answer to that, and I love your answer. My answer to that is, I didn't always speak up for myself. There was a time where I used to hold back or leave stuff in and pick my battles, and I would just be like, okay. And then I would let it build up and build up, and then that one thing would just, okay, I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass today. And you remember what you did last week? And you remember what you did last month? And all that, you know what I mean? So
That's Libra energy.
But I'm big Scorpio gang over here, right here. But I would say that's kind of how I feel about it, is finding a voice after the fact, which is why I'm hiding now. It led me to be here in front of all of you. I suffer from anxiety. Like, I don't like being in front of large crowds, but I've been in more large crowds this past year than I've ever done in my life. Ever. I have networked and built my family and my friendships with people. I've taken a lot of risks. I've become more brave, and I've become more appreciative as well of opportunities, to where I won't just let something pass me by because of fear.
Amen.
So I don't let fear control me, and I take leaps. And I consult with people who I trust, and I'm more careful and more quiet about the things that I want, because I don't want anything to put a damper on those things. So I'll make sure that I take the right actions and do the right things before I announce something, so that nothing can rain on my parade. So.
I love it. We would be in this room today.
That's right. I love
So just going based off Kenda, like you said, not having a voice, not really speaking up for yourself, and just kind of holding everything in. Like, I regret that because at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you're the one that's going to toss and turn.
Right.
And that's for myself, and that's where hate and grudges and all that stuff come in there. So one thing I regret is the grudges, but I learned how to, over time, I learned how to forgive without a sorry. Because everybody not going to say sorry to you. So I have learned that, like, even like holding grudges, I don't even hold grudges no more because I'm learning people are people. Like, you can't control people, but you can control yourself. So, yeah.
So people have to understand that sometimes forgiveness does not mean reconciliation.
Amen. That's right.
You know, you can forgive them, but I'll still be back around. And that's okay. So you're actually going to take 10 minutes. So while you guys are taking that break, I want you to think about forgiveness, because that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more coming up. 10 minutes, we're going to start back up again, okay?
Yes.
So y'all can
Get the camera started.
We need more codes.
Welcome back, everybody. Y'all full?
I'm not. Wait.
More chicken?
Ain't no love after team time on Smith. What love after?
So now that I know some of y'all full, I still want y'all to stay awake, okay? Yeah, don't get that itis, please. Stay awake. So we're gonna go ahead and get the second part started. For those who attended our first live podcast, we actually gave them some homework, and don't feel left out because we're going to give you guys homework as well before we leave tonight. So I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to start back with the panel, and then I'll come back to those who were first panel live. But you up, girl? You up? So get ready. All right, here's the question. So to the panel, how can effective communication help determine which battles are worth fighting for?
I'll go first.
That was the homework from the very first podcast.
I understand. Where was the question?
Y'all was there. We all was there.
You want to say it again?
She didn't do her homework.
So this question came to be because we were discussing fighting our battles. Like determining when you speak on something and when you don't speak on something. That's where this question came from. So I've learned that there are times where you don't need to speak on everything. And so just because there was a disagreement doesn't mean I need to sit there and argue back and forth with you and try to convince you to see my side. What can make these things more effective is first going into the conversation understanding that just because I feel this way doesn't mean that this person will feel the same way. And go in with an understanding and wanting to have a conversation that leads to a positive outcome. A lot of people go into communication with their point of view and they will argue you down. And at some point the conversation can become frustrating. Now you are exchanging words that you are using to hurt someone, or you're shouting, you're screaming. And so really you have to go in with the understanding that not everybody is like me, not everybody is going to understand where I'm coming from, and that's okay. But I still need to speak my piece. I need to still say how I feel. I need to still communicate and not keep things in, if that makes sense. But yeah.
I would say to
to know how the other person communicates is what will make it effective. Because if I'm communicating in one style and they communicate in another style, then we're constantly battling and not being able to understand the other person's point of view. As well as knowing that once I say my piece, I don't have to get the final word. That's hard for me because I like to have the last word. So if I'm communicating one way and she's communicating another way, I need to still be able to hear her and respect her views. If I'm not even hearing her, then there's no way for me to even accept what she's saying. So going into the situation, wanting to listen to understand versus just, oh, okay, I'm going to respond real quick. So if I'm not listening to let it penetrate my soul and be like, you know what, she probably does have a valid point of view, I just don't understand it. But if she explains it to me, then that way I understand it. So even being able to communicate in any type of manner will make it more effective.
Thinking about this question really helped me stand in my stoicism. Am I saying that correctly? I think so. Just to be more stoic. You know what I'm saying? This is staying in my peace and picking my battles is really what we're talking about. And when I understand something about myself, I don't need to speak on everything. My cousin Apollo 517 says that I say shit too much because when I get drunk, I don't have a filter. You gotta have a filter. You gotta filter these things.
I'll be sober and I don't have a filter, so you know.
Yeah, a lot of you guys don't have filters, but you gotta have a filter to filter the shit, to filter the circumstance, and to filter yourself, your feelings. This is all about knowing thyself. You gotta know yourself and know who you're communicating with. You know, and I said this at the last podcast that a lot of people really they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to argue. That's a thing. You have to argue correctly, and if you're not arguing correctly, then you're not going to get the outcome that you're looking for. Like, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Do you want to listen to respond, or do you want to listen to understand? Yeah?
Yeah.
Shout outs to Apollo for telling me to shut the fuck up. Oh, weird. Oh, weird.
So does that mean that we too can tell you to shut the fuck up?
Sure, I mean,
I'm just asking you to start our communication.
if I can do the same for you.
Absolutely. I'm not easily offended either, so you can tell me shut the fuck up.
That's awesome, because a lot of people are. It's a lot of snowflakes.
All right. So right now, shut the fuck up. I'm about to go outside my person.
Don't tell me to shut the fuck up.
You know I'm just messing.
I know.
You can tell me.
For me, communicating is knowing the person, knowing your audience, knowing how to approach them, but it doesn't matter either if you know the person or not, because that person can play mental mind games when they know that they're wrong. So when I approach a difficult situation, it's in a more calmer setting. I feel like if you approach a person in a more calmer setting, you know, you both are at lower levels and something is nice on or whatever the situation may be, that person will interpret what you said different versus standing up or right on the spot or being in a car. So that's kind of like how I pick my battles, but I'm going to definitely speak my piece at a lower tone. I'm going to match your tone as well, so you can kind of understand where this conversation is going, because if you're getting loud and I get loud, you're going to ask me why I'm getting loud, and that's a chance for me to explain. And sometimes touching too can be effective when you're touching on somebody's leg. Like, I'm coming in peace. Like, I'm trying to help us, help each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I approach that situation. It's really effective.
Oh,
I'm a very effective communicator. No, but for real, y'all. One thing I took from our last podcast, a young lady said a wonderful thing that stuck with me. She said, what's not respected is not protected. So, like, I feel that when you don't respect me, how can I feel protected in your presence? How can I feel safe with you at any point in time?
You know what I mean? So as people, we just need to know how to respect each other. Respect each other's boundaries. Respect each other's, you know what I'm saying, time to actually let people evaluate the situation. Sometimes maybe people just need time to process what the hell you just told them. Like, you know, some people are not as smart sometimes. So you just have to give people that grace and understand that, like, being effective communication, you just have to be able to open up and be able to really voice yourself properly so people understand where you're coming from. Make sense?
Open to the audience. Ready?
How y'all doing?
Hey, girl.
Hey,
girl.
What's up, the panel?
What's happening?
All right, so my name is Musa. I was there for the last event that was so beautiful. And I did my homework. And I just wanted to say that when the love is unconditional, we think we love unconditionally, right? A lot of people love within conditions. And when you feel like you gotta fight somebody else, when they having a fight within themselves that has nothing to do with you, that's when you should recognize that it's not worth the fight. You're there to help them. And people like to love people when it's all beautiful. Sometimes it get ugly, you know. So what I would say to that is, it's not about winning the battle. It's about winning the war. This spiritual warfare that we're in, that is. The goal is not to win the fight. The goal is for healing, healthy couples to bring resolution. Unhealed couples fight for victory. But when you are a victorious couple, you bloom like the lotus out of the mud. At this time, we're going to pass the promotion plate because the word has been given. We get our release service.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tashima. I was at the last event. Yay!
Nichole.
I did not do my homework. However, I do have an answer. So I have 3 parts. So using effective communication is something that I've been working on personally. I tend to use you statements sometimes when I'm speaking with individuals, so it's very important that I have to redirect myself and use I statements when I am feeling a certain type of way or someone is making me feel some type of way. I'm letting them know, like, hey, I feel this way, or when you, see? So using I statements versus you statements is very helpful. Also, analyzing how you are feeling before you respond. Because most times you're responding based off of something that happened, or you're still feeling triggered by something. So that's another one. Also, when someone is sharing their goals and their dreams with me, I typically go into problem solving mode. Like, okay, look, how we're going to fix this, or how we're going to accomplish that goal. But they really just want to talk to me. They really just want to share certain things with me. And at that moment, they haven't really asked for my assistance. So listening is one of those things that I'm working on right now. And listen to understand that when they do say, hey, Tashima, can you assist me with this? Then I can jump into that problem solver mode. So I definitely got to work on that.
Okay, you all, I'm learning to speak on out for myself. This is like the first time we've been in a group of a whole bunch of people and speaking. But I was doing my homework in 3 different ways and didn't even know I was doing it. The first one was I would just sit and kind of listen as I meditated, and things would just come to me, and it would just lead me to actually communicating with my mother. Me and my mother have been battling a thing of communication. I never was really taught how to communicate with my mother because she was always right about everything, and I was the one that was just like, okay mother. But as I started to really speak up for myself, I started to learn that I was doing similar things that she was doing, which is things that I was taught. So I started to do things differently over the last time, or in between the time from the first live to now. I actually, started going through the motions with her on communicating with her in different ways. I communicated with her at one point and it really put me in a trigger mode because she told me that I was heartless. Hey mother, I love you. I just want to say I'm saying this out of love, so don't take it personal. But I actually, when she told me that, I had to take it and look at it in a different way. I did not speak to her about it at that moment in time because I didn't know how to communicate something that my mother had just told me. So I honestly communicated with myself, asked myself different questions, and then I got clarity to actually go and speak with her. And like someone said before, listen to her on a different level, hear her point of view. Like you said, Tazina, use I statements instead of you statements, because I did always used to put my feelings off on her. But me not knowing that, I have to take that moment in time. And now I'm back today, and it's giving me the clarity of my life to let me know that I have really grown and really is able to communicate in a different way, even though I was taught something different.
You said something that stuck out to me, that we think communication is just instant talking, but there's some work that you have to do before you can even start to have, the conversations or, to communicate with someone else. You have to start in yourself to do that, that work before. So thank you for your response. All right, so we are going to jump back onto our topic of regrets. So my next,
Did I miss you? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
please forgive me.
Again, I'm refreshing in the homework is how effective communication helps relationships. As we talked about, that was the homework that I didn't do.
You told me help.
How can effective communication help determine which battles are worth fighting for?
Okay. Which battles are worth fighting for? All of them if you love the person. All of them if they love you back. I was listening to what you were saying about mom, and I was just thinking about just the relationship between my son and I. He is not much of a verbal communicator. Fantastic artist, he can do anything with his hands, but he does not speak much. And so when it comes to him, the battle might be all on his own and we can't fight it if I don't intentionally make space for him to speak. And for people like me who talk too much and take up a lot of space in the room, you got to be intentional about leaving the floor open for those who don't speak or have trouble speaking to me. And sometimes I can get forgotten in the melee of life, and then you lose the battle because you never even get a chance to fight it before people retreat. So effective communication, with your parents, with your children, with your partners, with your friends, with your enemies, could sometimes start with you being cognizant that something needs to be addressed and making space for it. So that's my homework.
Thank you so much. Is that everybody? I don't want to forget anybody.
You got everybody.
All right.
Oh, Apollo! Apollo in the back.
Shout out to Apollo in the back.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, Judge reminded me of a conversation that we had. Mind y'all, I didn't tell him to shut the fuck up in those words verbatim. But it comes back to effective communication, because I told him that we need to be speaking with purpose. We don't need to just be blurting shit out, you know what I mean? I think that's a whole part of effective communication, because the definition of communicating is having a sender of a message and a receiver of that message. And somebody had touched on it, if you're not ready to receive, how are you going to actually communicate effectively? So like speaking with purpose choosing your battles, I would think falls in the line is like, how are you going to deliver this message? You know what I'm saying? There's multiple ways of saying the same thing. Sometimes you attract flies with honey. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to use vinegar, you know? And I think that a part of you understanding the dynamic of the situation or the dynamic of your relationship will determine what method of communication are you going to use. And you got to intend a certain outcome. You got to speak with purpose to achieve that certain outcome. So I think that's what I think every battle is worth fighting for. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, you just got to use different strategies. And that's what the art of war is all about. It's about determining which strategy is going to give you the best chance of success. And I think that communicating might be changing up your delivery method.
Let's go.
Live life without any regrets. I know that a lot of you answered this question kind of and said that you guys live with regrets, so I definitely want to hear from you guys. So, can you live life without regrets?
I'll take it. No, I don't think you can live life without regrets. I feel like anybody that say they do not have regrets are lying. Whether you are healed from them and don't accept them, everyone has regrets. You have to have regrets in order to grow. And if you do not have regrets, you're not growing and you have not learned anything. So to say that you don't have any regrets, you haven't learned, you haven't grown, you haven't did anything. So it's no.
So that's like lack of accountability when someone says that, right?
Yes, lack of accountability.
That's what I thought about when I first started thinking about regret. I'm like, nigga, I'm Judge Rodgers. I ain't got no fucking regrets. I stand 10 toes down and I stand on business. But you know what? Like, if you don't have any regrets, you don't call yourself out on your own bullshit. You gotta have self-preservation.
You do. Let's go, Judge. Man, we ain't got no time.
That part, Judge.
That part.
Yeah, I felt that.
More. There you go.
I definitely felt that.
You might got a lighter?
I feel like regrets are sort of a reminder to you. It's like a regret is like this alarm that's constantly telling you, don't do that shit. Do you remember how you felt when you did it? Do you remember what you went through? Do you want to do that shit again? You know, it's like a reminder. So I feel like if you can't feel regret for a decision that you made that put you in a messed up situation, then did you really learn from what happened? And if you don't feel bad, then wouldn't that make you some type of sociopath or some shit? Wouldn't there be something chemically wrong?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, no, I don't think that you can live life without regretting something that you either did not do or something that you did do that caused harm. Harm to yourself or harm to someone else, or even just putting that negative energy in the universe is fucked up. You ever see somebody come in the room and they just all fucked up, and you having a good day, and you try and get them to smile and they just choose to be fucked up? They want to stay mad, they want to stay angry, and at that point, yeah, arms crossed. No! You know what I mean? So, yeah, you have to have regrets in order for you to learn, in order for you to grow, and in order for you to understand the damage that was caused in that circumstance.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you guys have already said, but I've lived a life full of regrets, and I'm not apologetic about it though, because like you all have already said, it has helped shape me to the person that I am. If I didn't regret that shit, then it's looking like a fuck you. Why? I regret messing with that one nigga. I regret eating that last piece of cheesecake. I regret buying them clothes that was too small, telling myself that I was gonna fit into it next week. I regret being the angry black woman. I regret, you know what I'm saying, not being the parent that's going to allow my child to speak his mind. I have a life full of regrets, but it's helping me shape to be a better person. It's helping my child shape to be a better person. And I'm authentically allowing myself to speak on it so other people can learn to grow and heal as well.
I love it.
We got good answers, y'all.
Right. Good answer. Ditto to the panel. That's all I got. There you go. Y'all said everything. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Anybody from the audience?
I'm good. Don't look at me. Okay.
All right,
Anybody?
Next question.
Oh shit, the clock went.
TT's is getting tired.
I don't know if I can live life without regrets, but I sure want to die without none. I definitely shouldn't have DM'd them that, but when I die, I don't care. Like, I tried.
Oh, you slid it
So we're
forward?
going down in the DM?
If we go down in the DM.
I like to be vocal about the things I want in life from time to time. And you know, and sometimes like, dang, the screenshot might be out there, but when I die, I don't care. But I'm just saying, I'm just speaking of that, the chances that we take, the things that we do in life, in the moment, yeah, I gotta grow from it. Yeah, it might be embarrassing. Yeah, it might be weird. Yeah, it might be awkward. But when I die, I'd rather look back on it all and be like, that was my life, and I did some things with it, and be like, I didn't do nothing. I could at least use some spice.
I love that.
Shout out to Snapchat me that pussy.
Follow me at.
Okay, so I have a question. I want to change the question from regret. Now, everybody has said that they have regrets. If I rephrase that and say, I wish I never, would you still have those regrets? Because God said that He knew the plans that He had for you. Now, today, I don't have any regrets because the things that I've done in the past have shaped me to be who I am today. And I could say that I regret being an alcoholic, but I don't. Because I am, but I don't drink. I'm in sobriety. So a lot of the times, our regrets are not for us to sit in it. It's for us to recognize it and build resilience through it.
Thank you for sharing.
That's dope.
Oh Lord, she kind of took a little bit of piece of what I was going to say, but for the most part, regrets, like she was saying, like I'm saying, it's a feeling for me. So in my depression state, which I have been in those moments of health issues, where I felt at my lowest point. Sorry, y'all. At my lowest points, those are the times that I say that I do not have regrets. When I am in my shining mode and I'm going out and get it, no, the regrets are not there because I know that those were my stepping stones for me to actually be able to grow. And like she said, I don't want to die with no regrets. So everything that I'm doing right now is allowing me to keep going so that I am walking through those things that when I was at my lowest points and telling myself I had those regrets, when I walked through it, I am now able to say, yes, I'm not going to die with no regrets.
That's all.
Alright, so this is going to be our final question before I give you guys your homework. Oh, you had something to say?
I want to say one thing. This won't be long. I was just going to say that regrets cannot exist where happiness lies. I digress.
That was it. That was all.
Vulnerability play in acknowledging and processing regrets, and how can we embrace vulnerability in this context?
Exactly.
Yes. Absolutely. What role does vulnerability play in acknowledging and processing regrets, and how can we embrace vulnerability in this context?
Admitting that you was wrong. A lot of people have a really hard time with that. They want to be right all the time. And when they're wrong, they'll fight you tooth and nail even when they're wrong. It's like, nigga, you wrong. Get with the program. I think so people struggle with that because then they have to look themselves in the mirror and they have to understand where they caused disconnect in that situation.
I would say, sorry y'all. I would say it plays a huge role. And I'm gonna speak for myself. I didn't like myself at one point, so I didn't even know how to be vulnerable with myself. So it took me being vulnerable with myself to love myself in order for me to be able to grow. Being vulnerable and feeling regret and all of these things and healing and growing, it's just like grief. It comes in stages. You have to accept it. Accept the bullshit that you did or that you went through.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the other steps is, grief, because I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? It comes in steps, but you have to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself first before you can be vulnerable with other people. If I can't love who I am and be with myself, how am I expect to show up to be a certain type of person with you? I'm gonna be fake as fuck.
Right.
But that's gonna be the only person that you know because that's the only person that I'm giving to the world.
I piggyback off what she said. You gotta know who you are. If you don't know who you are, everything you do in life is gonna be a blur. And you also have to teach people how to treat you. You gotta set your boundaries. You gotta set your standards because you don't want anything to violate what you stand for and who you are. Being vulnerable, like she said, you have to be vulnerable with yourself. And you gotta be okay with being vulnerable with the people that hurt you or that's doing messed up things and be okay with what they respond because you already spoke your piece. So that.
I'm bad. No, for real though. I think I struggled a lot with my vulnerability only because people always base me to be the strong black woman. I get so tired of people saying the strong black woman. Listen, I'm weak. I'm tired. Help me, okay? Help me. But no, for real, like I had to really learn that like my vulnerability wasn't a weakness, it's a strength. Like I really had to learn that just being okay with not being okay is okay. Like, I'm not made of stone. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So like being accountable and being okay with my unfiltered actions and the mistakes I made in my life made me a beautiful person. That's what people fall in love with about me. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I do, but like at the end of the day, that's what really made me who I am today, is being open and being vulnerable and being able to process that, knowing that like, okay, I'm not gonna always be okay.
Yeah.
And that's all right.
Yeah.
Like, work through it.
I kind of forgot the question.
I'll read it to you again. What role does vulnerability play in acknowledging and processing regrets, and how can we embrace vulnerability in this context?
Okay, I think it all depends. I think it all lies on you being honest with yourself. You know, like the harsh truths. Then I also would like to touch on like I said before, like the counsel that you keep. Like the people that we hang around with, they're gonna tell you if you got something on your fucking face or not. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna have you walking around looking like a dumbass. So they'll call you out on this shit, and you gotta be able to receive that. A lot of people aren't able to receive. You gotta be able to receive. A lot of people are able to dish it out, but they can't bring it back. So you gotta, the shit gotta be a revolving door. It has to be a revolving door with yourself first. Start journaling. That's when I first started journaling and doing like light shadow work as tone.
Your homework.
Yeah, you know, I gotta do my fucking homework, yo. I used to hate doing my homework when I was young, but that was because I was scared of the accountability that I didn't know what was the square root of 81, which I think is 3 now, but I don't know. But it's okay. It's okay that you don't know these things. And yeah, I was always scared of that harsh truth, but journaling, I can read back what I wrote down 2 years ago and was like, man, I ain't changed a bit, I'm still on the same shit. Or you can be like, yo, I'm on a whole nother level and I'm hanging with a whole different set of people and we thinking in a whole different way and moving in a, you know, it's I employ people to journal.
I love it.
Who you hang with though?
I hang with y'all.
Who are we?
This is the panel. This is the consequences of hanging out with the panel.
I think that society often tells us that we shouldn't be vulnerable. You know, they make it vulnerability look like a bad thing, or seem like a bad thing, when it's not. Of course, you still have to protect certain parts of you, but how can you grow in anything if you refuse to be vulnerable? You know, so you have to, be mindful of that. So, with that said, we thank you guys for being here. Woo!
So you always vulnerable today.
I think so. I mean, I definitely was vulnerable. This is like my first time ever in seeing. I was nervous. I had to have a drink.
You know, I just wanted to say one thing. My friend Kay, she is a wonderful person, and she introduced me to this woman. Her name is Brenna Brown, and she wrote this book called The Power of Vulnerability. And there's a difference when you're being vulnerable.
Write that down, y'all.
Yeah. I'll read. I'm gonna add it. Yeah. So there's a difference between being vulnerable with someone and actually bleeding on them. So you have to know the difference. Because when you're emotionally bleeding on people, that's just not a healthy thing. You think that you're sharing, but you're just, you disagree? Let's do it.
I don't know. I like this. Where this is going. I like where this is going.
So it's okay to bleed on your tribe, because now that we family, I want you to be able to bleed on me. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's dirty, it's disease blood. But I wanna be able to be like, bro, let's get it together. Let's figure out why you're bleeding, and let's figure out how to heal the wound. So I think it's okay to bleed with your people.
Yeah, and I add to that.
Bleed on me when you're not strong.
I will say though, if you are going to bleed with your people, prepare them. Don't just start bleeding on me now. I might have bled earlier. Then other people bled on me too. You know what I'm saying? So I had this conversation with my daughter. She's like, Mom, sometimes it seems like maybe you don't hear me, or you're not interested in what I'm saying to you. And I had to bring it to her. I said, let me just tell you what you've done this past week, because I've been paying attention. I said, you get in the car. I said, how was your day? She says, it was okay. Then she just jumps right into, but this customer, and I said, well, what did you do for yourself today so that next time you don't have to go through that? And she gets very defensive with me. So I stopped saying anything. Now I just listen. So she's like, Mom, well, why don't you seem as interested as before? I said, you don't set expectations. I don't know if you want me to just listen. I don't know if you want my advice. I don't know what you want me to do. I said, so moving forward, when you get in this car and I say, how was your day? You should be saying, Mom, it wasn't so well and I want to talk to you about it. Can we talk about it? And when we do, can you just listen? Or when we do, I need your advice. And you have to be open to what I'm telling you. You can't just be mad, because she would get mad at me because I didn't agree with her. She would get mad at me. So I'm like, you can't be getting mad at me when I tell you what I would do. I said, because when I'm answering the things that you're asking me, I'm telling you what I would do. At the end of the day, it's up to you to either take that advice or do what you was going to do without me. So that's another thing. Set expectations. Let people know where you want to take the conversation and what you need from them. Because you can bleed on me, but then if I start saying, yeah, well, you know what, you knew dude was fucked up. You knew you shouldn't have been fucking with dude. Then you're going to get mad because I'm telling you what I think. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to hear what I think, you need to tell me that right away. Like, I really need you to listen. And it's about to be, you know what I'm saying, I'm not probably going to cry, I'm really in my emotions, but let me know where you at so I can meet you there. That's another huge part about being vulnerable.
All right, y'all ready for y'all homework?
Not really.
You gonna do your homework?
Yeah. Ready for y'all homework?
Every show is gonna get
ready. So I'll tell you what's gonna happen till y'all get ready. We're gonna lock all these doors.
and that's a curtain.
Alright, so y'all homework is 2 parts. Ooh. The first part is invite somebody to the next Panel podcast.
I'm inviting all of y'all.
That's part 1 of your homework. So part 2 of your homework, get out your phones, whatever you want to write with, take this note down. Here's the question. Do cultural or societal expectations influence the way we perceive and experience regret? If so, how can we navigate this influence? Again, do cultural or societal expectations influence the way we perceive and experience regret? If so, how can we navigate this influence?
Answer that right now.
No, that's your homework for the next time.
That's what show you come to.
Tom, are we sure we put that up? Will that go, can that go up like on our?
Yep, and put it on the panel page.
All right, we're gonna put it up on the panel page as well.
Influence the way you see what?
The question is, do cultural or societal expectations influence the way we perceive and experience regret? If so, how can we navigate this influence?
Thank everybody for joining.
So again, we thank everybody for coming to our second live panel, the Panel Podcast. We appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and we will see you next time. And the doors of the church are open.
Y'all have a good time, y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with the panel, y'all.
Tell them they can take pictures with the panel before they leave.
That's fine. We promise we won't charge you this time for pictures with us.